In this video, we're going to investigate the dihybrid cross, which involves two genes for two different traits. The first trait is a gene that determines the color of the flower. Purple is dominant, white is recessive. And a second trait is a gene that determines the color of the pea, green being dominant, yellow being recessive. In this dihybrid cross, one parent is going to be homozygous dominant for both genes. So this parent would be purple flowers with green peas, and the other parent is going to be homozygous recessive for both genes. Little p, little p, little g, little g. So just to be clear, this parent is homozygous dominant for both genes, and this parent is homozygous recessive for both genes. Okay, remember that the parents are diploid, so they have two copies of each gene, and the gametes that these parents are going to make have to be haploid. So this parent would make this kind of gamete, big P, big G, and this parent would make this kind of gamete, little p, little g. So let's work out the Punnett square to determine the outcome for the F1 generation. So in this column we'll put, say, the male's gamete, big P, big G, and on the side we'll put the female's gamete, little p, little g. And as you can see, all the F1 are heterozygous for both traits. So from that initial cross, we learned that all the F1s are heterozygous. Big P, little p, big G, little g. Remember, this is the genetic code, or what we call the genotype. And so what do they look like? All the F1s are purple flowers with green seeds. And of course, that is their phenotype. Okay, now we're going to cross two of the F1s together and look at the F2 generation. So to create the Punnett square for this cross, we will need to know what the gametes look like. Since the gametes are haploid, each gamete will contain two letters, such as big P, big G. That's one gamete. This is another gamete. This is the third type of gamete, and this is the fourth type of gamete. 4 types. This big Punnett square will yield the F2 generation, and the gametes of one parent will go across the top like this. And the other parent will go down the side like this. Fertilization occurs when sperm meets egg. So this individual would have this genotype, big P, big P, big G, big G. Notice you keep the same letter types together. So the first row is filled out like this, and I keep the capital letter in front of the lowercase letter, like that. And here's the second row, filled out. And the third row. And there's the fourth row. Okay, the genotypes are all listed in the chart. What about the phenotypes? We're going to list the phenotypic ratios right here. First, I'm going to go through the chart and find out which ones have purple flowers. That one does, that one does, that one, that one. And that one. Next I'm going to go through and find out which ones have green seeds. That one, that one, that one. And that one. Now these four have white flowers. And finally, these four have yellow seeds. Now we can look at the phenotypic ratios. The dihybrid cross always yields F2s in the following ratios: 9 out of 16, 3 out of 16, 3 out of 16, and 1 out of 16. So 9 of them are dominant for both traits, purple and green. So I'm just going to circle those 9, hunting for all the purple and green ones. All right, 3 out of the 16 show one dominant trait and one recessive trait, like purple flowers and yellow seeds. So there's one, and there's one. 3 out of the 16 would be just the opposite, so white flowers and green seeds. That one, and that one. And the last one will be homozygous recessive for both traits, so it's white and yellow. So in conclusion, the phenotypic ratios for the F2 generation in a dihybrid cross are always in the ratio 9 to 3 to 3 to 1.